show, I started by asking Priyanka Chopra Jones and Adarsh Gourav, because they're both musicians and I know a lot about the music that they've done over their careers. I asked them if they bonded over the music of the film.
There was a time when we were shooting, I think it was the scene when we were shooting when Balram drives Ashok and Pinky back to the village, and we were jamming to a lot of 80s and 90s Bollywood music that day in the car. And
when you almost killed us.
when I also almost killed them, but it was also a lot of I think it was majorly this Raj and Priyanka bonding, because a lot of those songs I'd not even heard of. They were
you were too young for it. Raj and I were like, he's in his 20s. He doesn't know all of these 90s songs. So Raj and I were really bonding on the music. But the film is so musical. I remember right from the beginning, Ramin being very particular about the kind of score he would use in the movie. And as you can tell when you're watching the movie, it takes you back to that specific time with the music. And this is early 2000s, turn of the century, turn of the millennium. So the music was a really large part, and we all actually really bonded on music. Adarsh just reminded me of his age.
Adarsh, you worked with the legend Ilayaraja when you were just 13 years old. You were all set for a singing career, and you also sing in The White Tiger. Because when I saw that, I was like, this guy can sing. Tell me about that.
I was hoping more people would talk about it. Thank you for bringing it up.
Was that part written for you to do that?
No, it wasn't. That was improvised. So that scene was written completely differently, and Raj had to sing in the scene. And I just thought, it just came out when Raj sings. I said, "ऐसी बात नहीं है, मैं भी थोड़ा गा सकता हूँ," and I just started singing. And the first time I sang something from one of the old Bollywood films, and I went up to Ramin, and Ramin said that, well, there might be a copyright issue, so what do you want to do about it? So Ramin's DA Rohit, he wrote down 4 lines, and I instantly composed that, and then I sang that in the film.
So he didn't even just sing it; he made the song, he composed it, he wrote it.
Yeah.
Look at his talent.
So tell me about the food on sets. When you were shooting, that's what everybody wants to know this. What did you eat? What did you love?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I had to be really thin and lean for the part. So I could only eat so much of everything that was on set, and we had such a beautiful caterer and there was such amazing food, but I couldn't enjoy it fully, unfortunately.
I definitely took advantage of it. Me and Raj used to really, really get in on the food. We even went out and because we were shooting in Delhi, and Delhi has the best food. We were just every couple of days we would go out and find a new restaurant and go and grab some different kinds of food, street food, chaat. But even our catering was amazing. They used to make curry and really great food for us. So for me, it was, I'm sorry, Adarsh, but for me, it was a gastronomical delight.
I just wanted to say I love the film. I love the music. I think that using Punjabi MC and using Raghav and all of that into this storytelling, and to have such a strong movie, a very dark movie, and for Adarsh being a newcomer, and Priyanka, you have done so many roles in so many different ways. Anything you want to say to the listeners about what they should be looking out for in the film?
I think the one thing to remember is that this movie is a fictional piece of work. It is an amazing novel written by Arvind Adiga, but it is also a film that should require self-reflection, because there is a huge part of the world that lives in darkness like Balram does, and we as privileged society are desensitized to it. So I love being, even as an EP, but also as Pinky, being part of this movie that is provocative and bold and will definitely inspire conversation. So I hope and implore people to have that conversation.